science is always changing. The information is always coming out. It's always changing. It's always being researched further. So even what I knew 10 years ago is way different than what it is now. You know what I mean? Like, we'll use fats as an example. You should not have eaten fats 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Transmission received. Authorization granted. Welcome to the video.
What's up, dreamers? Hope you're having a fantastic day, or had a fantastic day, depending on where you are in the world. And I have to let you know, I do. You, boop, are awesome. Welcome to Drive-In and Vibe-In. What is the vibe today? Today I want to talk about genetics, your genes, not the ones you're wearing, but on a cellular level in your body. And I want to talk about lifestyle, like, lifestyle in general. So I want to talk about this, how it can affect your overall health and wellness, how, it can be, improved upon, some kind of myths about it. We're going to talk about everything today within reason. What is genetics? Genetics is the broad term. It's not really a broad term, but it's genetics is like the study of genes and how traits are passed down from generation to generation. So like hair color, eye color, this and that. But oftentimes genetics plays a role in health and wellness, right? You can be predisposed to different genetic traits that can, kind of affect your overall health and wellness. This happens. You got to keep in mind that there are individual variances where some genes will affect some people, or traits will affect some people one way, and they will affect other people, another way. Okay. So, and lifestyle and habits are kind of like how you're brought up, like the foods you may eat, the way you dress is kind of a lifestyle, all of this and that is passed down from generation to generation for the most part. Also, there's generational changes, decades too. So like the way people dressed in the 80s different from the way they dressed in the 90s, different from the way they dressed in the early 2000s to 2000s, and they definitely differ from how they are now. So we have to keep all of this in mind. But I have to talk about genetics because I hear this a lot. And I want to talk about it in regards to overall health and wellness. I hear often that people say that, I look like this, or I feel like this, or I'm always tired, I'm always feeling bad, or I always have a headache because, it's in my genes. That's how my family's been, or my mom had it, my dad had it. This happened to my mom or my dad. This happened to their grandparents. This could potentially be true, but like the body, the sense of pain, we'll use headaches as an example. That is not a genetic trait that's passed down. That is a sign that there's something else maybe possibly going wrong in your body. Okay. Now, again, you have to take this disclaimer before I even go any further in this video. I am not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. Everything I'm saying is anecdotal, and which, is through experience of myself, or is stuff that I've read online through research. Okay. So genetically speaking, and the body responds to inflammation by emitting pain, or it shows pain when there's something wrong, right? Now there's other people who say that weight is a factor in family genetics, and that, again, for the most part, it can be true. Again, individual variances, but for the most part, that is part of lifestyle. And I'm going to give an example here. If you grew up, here's an example, side by side. If you grew up and you ate nothing but fast food because your parents didn't cook, let's say that's an example. Your parents didn't cook, you ate fast food, you went to restaurants all the time. Let's say you ate healthier choices at gas stations, or like, you might not have this on the West Coast, wherever you are in the world, but Wawa, big gas station. I like to go get some of their sandwiches. Are good. They are. But let's say you do that, and that's how you were brought up, and then through life you are more inclined to kind of copy that because you were brought up not really making food. And so the path of least resistance is going to tell you to get that fast food because that's food. It's still food. It will keep you alive, which is true in a general sense. It is true. Um, and you don't cook or eat generally healthy food. Now, that would probably be a lifestyle reason for why weight would be an issue, as opposed to genetically speaking. Another thing is if you are brought up and you're never doing exercise outside of whatever you do in school, you're not playing sports, you're not doing this, and it's like that's kind of how you were brought up. Your parents never really did that or this and that. And I'm not knocking on anybody's parents, okay? That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just give examples. You're predisposed to that, so you're more than likely going to carry that through and probably not do the exercise. And exercise is very important, obviously, in regards to overall health and wellness, but also weight. So there's another portion that's lifestyle over genetics. I feel like, and I hear this a lot, and I try like, it happens, of course, but we got to stop blaming our genes, our family, medical history, and all this and all that. We got to stop using excuses. There's got to be no excuses. Sometimes lifestyle, and it's hard. Positive habits are hard to build. Bad habits, it's like, I just heard this saying, I hear this a lot, but bad habits are like being in a comfortable bed, easy to get into, bad or hard to get out of, right? And that's true. Bad habits are exactly like that. They're easy to acquire, hard to get out of, just like a comfortable bed. So that is true. Breaking bad habits is difficult. It is. I'm not downplaying that. And building new habits is, especially if you grew up, under these lifestyle, kind of having these influences, it may be hard to break, but we got to stop blaming. We got to stop putting the blame elsewhere. Okay. I'm not saying and obviously there are individual variances. Like if there are some things that people are predisposed to, I completely get that are just out of your control. But 9 times out of 10, if there is something going on in your body, it's in response to something going on in your environment, not as much because you have been predisposed to this and all of a sudden it's happening, or it's been happening because you were born that way, like on a cellular level. So I think a couple of things that people need to not a couple of things. One of the things I think really needs to be kind of looked at in regard to maybe what may be going on with you is your lifestyle, and maybe some of the things you do, some of the habits that may not be so good, but also some of the habits that you have that are good, right? Some people downplay the fact that going out for a walk is an activity, and they do it every day, and they don't even look at it as a positive reinforcement of kind of like having good habits. If I mess up my words one more time, but walking is very powerful, and that is the groundwork for improving overall health and wellness. That's the perfect gateway into exercising further or walking more. So I think looking at our lifestyle, stop playing the blame game, especially on genes or past history, and we got to always look forward. We have to look forward, never backward, because if every time we look backward, we're going to hit a wall. Literally, I mean, it's true. Walk through your house with closing your eyes or looking backwards. You might make it a little bit, but you're eventually going to hit a wall. It's just the truth. Always forward, never backward. And I think we need to stop playing the blame game, especially when it comes to genes, genetics. And I'm not saying blame your parents either. Don't do that, okay? Because everybody's brought up differently. Like there are some things that I don't blame my parents for anything. I mean, they did a fantastic job raising us kids, okay? And it's always science is always changing. The information is always coming out. It's always changing. It's always being researched further. So even what I knew 10 years ago is way different than what it is now. You know what I mean? We'll use fats as an example. You should not have eaten fats 10, 15, 20 years ago, whatever it may have been, because they were so bad for you. They skyrocketed your cholesterol. Well, now it turns out fats fuel the brains, fuels the brain, this was probably known, but more controversial back then. Fuels the brain. Fat's good for, I mean, there is so many vitamins that are fat soluble, which means they ingest. What is the word I'm looking for? They need fat to go into your body. Oh my goodness, brain fart. I mean, fats are so good. So like the information's changing. We just need to take everything. We need to stop playing the blame game, okay? And just look at our lifestyle. Try to eliminate bad habits. Try to improve upon habits that are potentially good or create new good habits and work towards bettering our overall health and wellness, which in turn will help our gaming performance. I didn't even say that yet, but here it is. If you have any tips or tricks of your own, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear them. If you have any ideas flowing, anything you would like to hear further on, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear them. If you like what you heard in the video, hit that subscribe button. Greatly helps out the channel. The like button too. And I hope to see everybody in the next video. Later, dreamers.